In my previous non-clip video about Hololive, I touched upon some of the biggest names within the plethora of talents that make it up. You may want to watch the video to get yourself up to speed, nudge nudge wank wank. But I only really focused on a specific individual. Today I want to focus on another, one who's acted as my gateway drug into the endless rabbit hole that is Hololive. One whose endless charm, charisma and tenacity propelled her into being one of Hololive's definitive heavy hitters. This is Inugami Korone, Hololive's darling doggo.
せーの顔は許してジャンプピカポカバンクバンク What the fuck?
The story of Inugami Korone begins on her debut on April 13th, 2019. Korone debuted as a new member of the subdivision Hololive Gamers, comprised of her, Nekomata Okayu, Okami Mio, and joined by Shirokami Fubuki from the first generation of Hololive. Hololive Gamers had been created alongside Mio's debut the previous year, and could be considered a generation 2.5 of sorts. It came after the second generation, but preceded the third. Unlike other generations up until this point, as you may have guessed, Hololive Gamers' main focus was on gaming, as opposed to the idol-like singing and dancing the other generations were expected to entertain from time to time. When Korone initially debuted, she was a far cry from the cute Doggo we've all come to know and love. She was shy, withdrawn, and her debut stream will live on in infamy as being supremely scuffed, to the point of her eventually having to call on Okayu for help. Korone has touched upon this later on in her career, saying that she has always been a relatively shy, introverted person, and that VTubing has helped her make progress in coming out of her shell. Something that really helped Korone's fame to astronomically skyrocket aside from her adorable design is her personality. While Korone started out rough, she very quickly endeared herself to her audience when she was able to hit her stride and come out of her shell, revealing the boundless energy and contagious enthusiasm that lay beneath. Something that the community has made sure that there is endless evidence of.
Mickey Mouse! Mickey Mouse! What? I got more goofy. Water in the fire! Why? Water in the fire! Why? Not to understand. Have confidence. No confidence.
A notable aspect of Korone is her sheer level of determination and endurance. Korone is known for streaming for hours at a time, an example being when she essentially did a full 24-hour stream of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Her feats don't end there, however, as Korone is also known for her fondness for retro games and games on older hardware, and once streamed for nearly 20 hours non-stop trying to beat the infamously difficult Famicom version of Dragon's Lair, finally clearing it after 80 retries and over 1,114 deaths, and then proceeded to beat it again after admitting that she felt bad for using a cheat code that gave her 30 lives. She also played Atlantis no Nazo, a game that was only released in Japan that is well known for its insane difficulty and poor overall quality, in a stream that was nearly 12 hours long, all while refusing to use a strategy utilising an invincibility item to complete the extremely difficult final stage, which she ultimately succeeded in doing. Another thing I couldn't go without mentioning in this video about Korone is her relationship with Okayu. Even among the rest of Hololive gamers, Korone's relationship with Okayu is exceptionally notable, and it was very quickly established that both Okayu and Korone have known each other for a very long time, and have a very close relationship. Initially, when Korone first started out and was still quite shy, Okayu was the only person who Korone felt comfortable talking to, and was very quiet and reserved in group collabs, although over time this has changed considerably, even though Korone still has her reservations at times. Korone has even once taken in Okayu and allowed her to live with her family when her grandmother fell ill, the two keep in contact and hang out regularly, and even casually kiss each other on the lips by their own admission. Okayu has even outright said that she no longer uses Twitter as much as she used to due to constantly messaging Korone online, and revealed that she's the clingier one out of the two of them, in contrast to Korone's usual behaviour when they're both on stream, which she noted as something Korone does for her own amusement. Korone was what caused many people to fall down the rabbit hole that is the Vtuber community, and could arguably be considered to be the poster child for the Vtuber boom of 2020, and her channel saw considerable growth during this time period. Korone went from having 150,000 subscribers in early 2020 to having 500,000 by July 2020 to hitting 1 million subscribers in November of that same year. As of the time of writing this video, Korone is currently sitting around 1.8 million subscribers, making her the 4th most subscribed VTuber in the JP branch and the 6th most subscribed in Hololive overall. While we can most likely point to the aforementioned VTuber craze as the reason for this utterly mind-blowing rate of growth, there are a few more factors that could have contributed to this as well, such as being at the centre of many quotable lines.
Secret money. Thank you. Oh, I'm die. Thank you forever.
What? No, what?
I am Mercedes-Benz. Party party! Let's go party party! Yay!
Being at the centre of a meme that exploded in popularity, having a reference made to her in Doom Eternal, and outright being acknowledged by both the companies behind the games that she plays, as well as the people involved with their development. Korone was also one of the first talents in Hololive to make an earnest attempt to learn English in order to communicate with her Western fans, learning from her audience and attempting to help them learn things in turn, which only further endeared people in the West to her. It's clear that Korone has become a mainstay within the VTuber community, and while she hasn't seen the growth that she saw in 2020, Korone's channel is still continuing to grow at a slow but steady pace, with her earning roughly 10,000 subscribers every month. A far cry from her highest highs for sure, but 10,000 people subscribing to view your content in of itself is no small feat, and no matter where she goes within this community or if she leaves it altogether, she will always be fondly remembered as one of the biggest icons of the VTubing world, and no one will ever forget the impact made by Inugami Korone, Hololive's darling Doggo.